Caesar, the crowd pleaser. If you need to pick me up, ladies, we gon' change your demeanor. Caesar, the crowd pleaser. We gon' do a little dance, we gon' make the naysayers believe us. Hey girl, had a long day, you tired from work. Throw me some dollars and I remove my shirt. You can touch me too, these are the perks. Free yourself, lose your mind and go berserk, and go berserk, and go berserk, and go berserk.
Make way for the bad guy.
What is up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crowd Pleaser, the podcast that brings you the inside scoop on what it takes to be a male entertainer. I'm your host, Caesar the Crowd Pleaser, and I have my phenomenal co-host with me today, Tre Vaughn. What's going on, Tre?
Oh, nothing much, brother. What's up with you?
Good, man. Just getting prepped for an event we got coming up soon and stuff. How was your holiday, man?
It was wonderful, man. It was wonderful. Got to go back home, see family, do the whole Christmas spirit thing. How about yours?
Great. Same thing. I was hoping to go to Miami and enjoy some warm weather for the holidays, but sadly, my mom decided to go visit my brother in Baltimore, so I ended up flying out that way and froze with the rest of all the great people.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine that because I know it was cold here in Texas, but up north it's way worse.
Oh, dude, it was freezing. I'm not gonna lie. As warm-blooded as I am, I don't like the cold, so I end up sporting like 3 layers the entire time.
Oh yeah, I'll be honest. I think the farthest north I've ever been is like Kentucky, and I hated it. I hated it with all my passion. But yeah, I mean, kudos to you to go out that way for family. I mean, but I guess if anything's gonna take you out that far, it would be family.
Yeah, true story. Sadly, it was so windy and cold that we actually didn't even use the hot tub. So, kind of stayed indoors, bundled up the entire time. My mom ended up making Noche Buena on Christmas Eve night. It's a Hispanic tradition.
Right.
Absolutely amazing food. And then plátano maduro, yuca, all that good stuff. And then we ended up the following night having dinner with the in-laws. So they cooked a traditional Christmas dinner and whatnot. And I gotta admit, like, my family spoils the hell out of them. But anyways, it was a good time.
Sounds
So
good.
I appreciate you joining me for episode 26 of the podcast. This is a topic that we have talking for a little while. You and I are pretty adamant about doing this, so I
Right.
figured it'd be a good topic. But to do a little bit of quick housekeeping, I want to go ahead and thank all our patrons for supporting the show. We recently had some issues with Patreon. They changed the way that they were billing people for the pledges and stuff. But thanks to the outcry of the community, they quickly backtracked and reverted back to the original. So thank you for everyone that stayed with me during that time. And anyone that left, I totally understand. You're more welcome to come back whenever you want. And if not, no harm, no foul. It's you patrons that let me do all the things I do with software and editing and creating various reality shows and all kinds of stuff. And you get great perks. You see the creative process of my acts. You get videos behind the stage and all kinds of great things. So thank you so much for everyone there. Really appreciate it. Next, if you are listening to this podcast on iTunes, please leave a review and a rating. It makes a big difference to kind of help me get up on the top of that search bar, and that way more and more people get to listen to the show. So even something as simple as going there and leaving a star rating, like, it's cool. You don't have to leave 5 stars if you don't like me that much. Totally understand. But any kind of rating is extremely
What?
appreciative.
I like
I know.
I'm sorry. I just had to throw that out there. I apologize.
No, I like you too, bro. I like you too.
Oh, thanks, man. So sweet.
Oh, that smile though, man, even over Skype, it just radiates.
Oh,
I,
I hate you so
I,
much
I
sometimes.
thought, I thought it was the mirror, the window behind you, like shining that light, but no, it was just that smile.
Oh God, this podcast is gonna go good.
I can tell. All right.
Oh yeah.
So any kind of review is greatly appreciated. I pay attention to all the feedback you guys give me. So by all means, feel free to message me on various social medias or whatever platform you are listening to this podcast on, and share it with your friends. Next, our respective clubs, La Bear Dallas and Hardbody San Antonio. Both of us work at both clubs, but we obviously call home to various clubs. Check them out. If you're anywhere in the area, either Dallas or Hardbodies San Antonio, swing by, see the show. Go to San Antonio Hard Bodies quite often, and they put on a phenomenal show. I mean, heck, honestly, some of their shows shouldn't even be in a strip club. They're so good. Lighting, smoke, great choreography, and all the dudes are a blast to hang out with. Same thing at Le Bear. Yeah, I mean, just a good time, plain and simple.
Just good time. Just good fun.
On that note, though, one thing that I really feel I need to kind of push a little bit that's been absolutely insane with social media and just the Snapchat age and stuff like that is please, please, please no photography and video in our clubs. If you see people doing it, stop them. Reason being is if people can see our show online, they're less inclined to come see us in person. And we work off of tips, period. We don't make anything off the door. We don't make anything off the bar. So, and plus it's just kind of disrespectful because, people are sitting there shining their phone lights at you. They're not tipping anybody. And it just kind of makes you feel like you're not really worth the attention. You know what I'm saying? So
Just leave your cell phone at the door. You don't even need it. We're there. We're there for your entertainment. We'll come talk to you. You don't need to go texting. We'll be fine. Sorry, just kind of a little pet peeve. I saw a lot of people texting last night, and just last night was really bad. The worst I've seen it in a long time. So, yeah.
yeah, I don't think people realize they're doing it. Like, I literally think it's more of a, how to explain it? It's just a habit. Like, it's the way social media is working now, so it's what people do.
Right.
And so, like I said, they don't really know they're doing it. And that's why it's kind of one of those things like, hey, how about you put your phone down and actually enjoy the show? So, just something light, but it's progressively gotten worse. So if you guys can help out with that, it would be greatly appreciated. Take pictures with the guys after at the end of the night or individually and stuff. But, recording table dances and guys' performances is just highly disrespectful. So, yeah. And last but not least, it is the 29th that we're recording this. And on the 31st, La Bear Dallas is having our New Year's Eve party. I myself will be performing debuting a Aerial Silks duo act with my one of my instructors. She was kind enough to help me put together a show, and she's going to be performing with me. I'm going to be doing all kinds of cool things, holding her up in the middle of the air while she's doing all great kinds of bendy things and looking phenomenal and whatnot. Like I said all the time, she makes me look good.
I'll be honest. I'll be recording that act. Just get mad at me now. I'll be recording in the back of the club.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'll probably end up recording it from like 3 angles and then making a cool highlight reel and putting it on Patreon.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you have a talented friend like Caesar, it makes you feel like, because you try to do cool things.
Dude,
oh.
We're not even 5 minutes into the podcast, bro.
Anyway, but it makes you feel bad because you see him doing all this cool stuff. So you're like, oh, let me dabble in it. Then you try to dabble in it. You're like, oh, I have no talent for this. Delete.
Oh, you should see how I'm going to make a blooper reel from rehearsals for sure. Like both mine and when we're working together. It's pretty hilarious.
You have to.
But there is also, it's great. It's $30 for couples. So it's a discount for males. You guys can come in, have a great time. Most of the guys are pretty laid back that night. We celebrate the new year, bring in the new year with our friends and stuff like that. I have a bunch of friends that are coming in, and we're just gonna have a great time. Speaking of friends that are coming in, the one and only Tre Vaughn, my co-host, is actually coming down for New Year's Eve. Is that correct, Tre?
Praise the Lord, I'll be there. I'll be there bright and early. I'm not even gonna go to sleep on Saturday. I'm gonna drive straight to Dallas after I get off work.
Oh wow. Speaking of which, are you crashing at my place or are you staying somewhere?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna crash at your place that Sunday night.
Okay.
I don't want to bother you that Sunday morning, but.
All right, cool, awesome, man. It's great to have you. It's always a good time, both to share the stage and I guess the kitchen. So, yep. And the gym. Oh, we can get a workout together too.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. So that is a great segue into our topic today, which is traveling. We have a little bit of freedom as male entertainers to travel from club to club. Typically, like I've stated before on the show, we like to essentially work 5 nights a week because we're so limited in our roster and we have to learn everybody's uh, routines and things like that and help the show. So we really try to be there all the time. But I mean, as we're going to talk about now in the show, there's a ton of reasons to travel and kind of experience new things and see new shows and whatnot. Like I said, we'll go into it in a minute. So Tre's coming down for New Year's Eve. It's an event. We're gonna have a great time. He's actually gonna kind of see the whole Guys and Dolls things, but not quite. We're keeping it a little low key this year and not really pushing that as much. But what are some of the reasons that you personally try to travel to other clubs and shows and stuff?
I like to do it. One, I've always wanted to travel with my life. That's something I've always wanted to do. I haven't gotten to do it as much as I'd like to. And one of the reasons why I like to travel is I get my name out there more. All I have to do is just spend time and a little bit of money on gas. But I mean, I like to meet new people. I like to see how different people react with different things. And the matter of fact, the first road the first road show I did was to Corpus, and it was totally different. It was totally different than working at Hard Bodies. And then the second time I traveled, I went to Houston, and that was like going to the Wild West. I was thrown into the ringer there. That was fun, but it definitely helped me grow as an entertainer. And then the third trip was to go see y'all in Dallas to do your November strip off. And it was right after I had placed fifth at our October strip off. So I was very confident. I went in there and I had a good time. And it just was good because I came out of there meeting people like you that helped me further in this industry and helped me be a better entertainer. And it was just fun. I mean, I just like to go out there, and I think it's kind of a little bit, I don't know about you, but I feel a little bit more relaxed when I travel, even if I don't know if I have someone there for me, like people that come see me. If I don't know if anyone's there, I still feel more relaxed because I don't have to worry about as much as I do at Hard Bodies. Like at Hard Bodies, you're running around with like a chicken with your head cut off, helping 5 to 6 people's acts. You're like, oh, okay, I gotta help with this person, so I can't go do this right now. I gotta do this here after this. But when I go travel to Dallas, it's like, okay, I'm gonna work the floor. I'm gonna have some fun. Okay, I have time. Okay, I gotta go up in 3 people. All right, I need to go to the back and start getting ready. Okay, now I can do this. Like it's just a little bit more relaxing, a little bit more fun, because it's not. I guess technically because it's not technically my club, but I still feel like I'm part of that club. It's more like if anyone needs my help, I can help. Where at Hard Bodies, it's like, no, I gotta help. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
Yeah, no, I understand. When you're at your own club, you help so many people. You know the routine. You're a staple there, so you end up running around helping. Exactly what you said, helping people any way you can. You know what's going on. You know if problems arise, you got to be there. Versus when you go to another club, it's kind of the opposite. People kind of go out of their way to cater to you, but you're like, man, I brought my one show. I'm just chilling, and you're just cruising on Easy Street all night. So
Right.
it is a bit of a break. You're working, but you're kind of like minus being on stage. Like I feel like when you travel, stage kind of gets a little more intense because you're representing yourself, you're representing your club, you're
That's true.
representing the industry as a whole to people that either A have never been there before, period, B have never heard about your club or who you are. So it's almost like you start dancing all over again. And then C, you're performing for veterans that have been coming to, let's say, Hard Bodies, right? They've been coming to Hard Bodies for years, so they
Right.
know the quality of show you guys put and the type of guys you have. And so now they're like, okay, well, let's see what these Dallas guys can do. So it's like the whole night you're so laid back, it's way chill because you have no expectations. But then when you go on stage, like you feel that pressure of like, I really need to represent the best I can.
I agree. I agree. But
And
see, oh, go ahead. My bad.
no, and the thing is that I think, and in general, uh, we've done that. Like I know people from my club that can't wait to have you back in town, or Juice, or Mandingo, or Christian, Foreplay, and Lorenzo and Taylor Cole from Houston.
Dang, just
Um,
keep name dropping. Those are all good entertainers. Keep
yeah,
name
I
dropping.
mean, you have Boston, you have uh, forgive me now, not Suave. Man, I'm drawing a blank now. As soon as you called me on name dropping, I dropped the ball on all the guys from Miami. Um, anyways, it'll come to me. I'm sure as soon as we're off this podcast, like every single guy from Miami will come to mind. But those guys come up and people look forward to them. They're excited, and so it brings something to both your club and the other clubs when you do it. And a great thing about that too is that it's kind of cross pollination of clientele as well, because
True.
it's now people can appreciate, like, someone from your club will come up to Dallas and experience our show and our environment and understand that, and like maybe that as a little vacation, or really appreciate how you guys run the club down in Houston or San Antonio. And same thing with Houston, same thing with every other club. Like, each club has its own environment, its own dynamic, and experiencing that, I think, is great for as an entertainer, because you are able to appreciate what you have and know what you don't and try to work towards it.
True. I mean, it's like, it was like 2 weeks ago. No, 2 weeks ago we were both in Houston, right? 2 weeks
Yep.
ago. So 2 weeks ago we were both in Houston, and I feel like we were both kind of going through the same thing. We were just kind of sitting there basking in the culture and watching. I know you and me both enjoyed Boss's Act a lot.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, we both.
No, I liked it. I came back and I started working on something not like it, but similar. So I was like, it got me really motivated. And I know you and I both were on side stage, just kind of like staring, like we were like definitely shell shocked. So that's one of the reasons why I like to travel, is to see how, like, someone can take a concept and spin it their own way and put it towards their club. Because there's certain acts that work at certain clubs and then they won't work at another club.
Yeah.
And that's just part of life.
Brian and Santi. There we go. Those were the two guys I was thinking of.
And
Sorry.
you know what I was about to say when you started saying Suave? I was like, he's probably thinking about Santi.
Yeah. Sweet. So, great entertainers as well. They've done really great up in Dallas, and I think they've gone down to San Antonio, right?
Boston's the only one to come down to San Antonio.
Okay.
We've tried to get other guys, but San Antonio, San Antonio women, y'all gotta push for it. Every time we try to push for these guys, y'all don't make enough hype and enough buzz. So, come on, girls, let's do this.
So going back to, while we're on the subject of LeBaire, Miami and Fort Lauderdale, to show a certain level of appreciation, like we were both down there, I think, for the same strip off, the one in Miami, remember? Where, like, it was 4 of you guys?
Yeah.
You guys...
That was like 2. It was not this last April. It was the April before.
Yeah. So we went down there, and right off the bat, the one thing that you could really appreciate about our clubs versus theirs is space and size.
Oh, I'm talking about their stage.
The stage and the locker room, dude, like, we were climbing over each other in the locker room.
I remember that now. You were in that, like, little kitchen sub part, right?
Yeah, I found a little corner and I just freaking stashed my suitcase there.
Weren't you and Dingo in, like, the same corner?
Somewhat. Like, the runner was jumping back and forth. But, so we have that. And then, like you said, main stage. Their main stage is the size of our side stages. And don't get me wrong, they do a phenomenal show with what they got. But it really, really makes you appreciate the stages that we have at our clubs.
Well, I mean, of course. I mean, if you look at, I don't know if you got to see it, but Damien from Dallas, your boy, almost fell off the stage while he was doing his little solo dance. He almost fell off the back of the stage, like towards the stairwell.
Yeah, I got you.
I was back there and I could actually hear him, like he was like, oh, like he almost fell back there. And that's just something, I think if he would have warmed up a little bit more on that stage, he would have been able to do it without that happening. But at the same time, it's such a small stage that if you lose where you're at for a second, it could be disastrous.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, sometimes I'm amazed at the group acts they put together with those stages, because the guys are practically on top of each other sometimes.
Yeah, they have to rehearse that at least 100 times to make sure that they don't hit each other and fall off.
Now, that being said, though, it's a give and take, because, so, like, a pro and con for me down there, which I would have never thought of or seen unless I traveled, both our clubs have high ceilings because we're designated clubs. Those guys are not. So they have low ceilings, which a con is, I mean, I'm not that big of a dude, and I still had to get down on my knees to spin fire there. The roof was so low. That being said, though, they actually have various apparatuses hooked up to the ceiling down there. So the guys can do all kinds of cool things like hump the ceiling and do like inverts and things like that we can't do in our club, which really adds a pretty neat aspect to the show, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it definitely adds like a very cool aspect. Like just to and ladies, if you've never been to to these clubs in Florida, but you're in the Florida area, you need to go check it out because some of the stuff they do, their solo stuff after they do their acts and then they use the roof is just incredible. It's like Cirque du Soleil, but male entertainer style. So it's very cool. I mean, I know for a fact, even if our club had that, I don't know how much stuff I could do with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I figure some out, but some of the stuff they do is just wild and crazy out there.
Yeah. Now that though, on that note, another thing that I thought was cool, and you guys kind of have it, but the fact that their whole stage is like a disco stage. The whole stage lights up, the whole floor,
Yep.
which is super freaking cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it really gives a good accent to the choreography, and it just looks better. And so that's something I'm envious of.
Right. Well, you know
Um,
what? Just build yourself a little stage that you can wheel onto your stage, and then there you go.
oh, kind of, like maybe like two stages that can like spin back and forth and like maybe alternate guys to
No,
be on
no,
it.
no,
Is that what
no.
you're trying to say?
That sounds silly. Who would do such a thing?
Are you sure? Because I mean, I feel like it's a pretty good idea. Like,
I think it's terrible.
I mean, you would just have to get like six dudes, so you could have guys on each side, and then guys rotating the stages, and it would have a really cool kind of like a black and white, or like maybe a good versus evil effect.
No, 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 no. I don't know. This guy, I don't know where this guy comes up with his creativeness. I don't know. That's creative. I'll give you that.
Really, you think so?
Yeah.
It'd be really neat. I'm surprised no one's ever done it before. I really
I
am.
mean, I would say do it at your club, but your stage is a little too small for it. So, but maybe you could design that and come to Hard Bodies.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Actually,
I
wait,
think
we
I got
should.
some. I think I got some material for you to build that. I think so.
Dude, that is so nice of you. That is insanely nice of you. Like, stellar dude. Stand up gentleman through and through.
Hey.
All right, well, since some of our listeners have probably not been aware of our inside joke, Trey actually has a good versus evil act that involves two mobile stages that rotate and whatnot. So I'm not completely having a horrible spur of the moment brainstorm conversation in the middle of the podcast. I'm actually just trolling him a little bit, which
Oh
hopefully
man,
everyone else is
I
just
knew this
rolling.
was gonna be a good podcast. I knew it. I knew it when I was texting you this morning.
So stages, that's one thing. Another thing is the fact that like, and I'll let you touch on this because you guys actually did it. I believe when you guys went down to Miami, you ended up staying a couple extra days because you guys did so well that the vacation kind of paid for itself. Was that right?
Well, the first time we went down, because I've only gotten to go once. I want to go back. I'm actually trying to. I want to talk to you about next time you're going back, so maybe I could fly down and then we could chill out and do all that. But the first time we went out, we did. The event was on a Monday, which I thought was really weird. But we flew in that Sunday, and honestly, we should have worked that Sunday too. But we were just kind of getting our bearings and kind of we just got off the flight, so we just kind of getting our bearings. But then we worked that Monday. Well, we stayed until Wednesday morning. We had to leave. But then the next time, but yeah, the trip basically did pay for itself, so that was always good. But then the next time people went, it was Dingo, Juice, and I think Suave went that second time, and they all went and they loved it. They stayed there for at least 4 or 5 days, and they worked. I think they worked several nights, and the trip basically paid for itself. And if any of y'all have never seen those three entertainers, all of them great entertainers, class act guys. Suave man just won Hard Body's MVP of the year, so that's a big deal. But yeah, man, it's just that's why I like traveling, because sometimes basically traveling will pay for itself, and it's fun. You get to meet new people, get to experience new things.
Yeah, totally, 100%. And it is a benefit, when you can, like, for example, I had never been to San Antonio, so when I went down there early so I could actually see like the river walk and stuff like that and experience the city a little bit while still making some money. So yeah, I'm kind of getting a little time off, but at the same time, I'm not costing myself money because I'm still working.
Right.
You know, same thing with Houston, same thing obviously with Miami is a little different for me because I have family down there. So I'll go down there for the week. I'll let the club know. So I'll end up working like 3 or 4 nights while I'm there. Try to work a slow night so I'm not disrespectful to the guys just showing up Friday and Saturday. And
Right.
and then spend the time with my family. And like you said, the guys end up liking it so much. They're like, you know what? How many times are we going to be here? Let's go ahead and make the most of it. And they did.
Right.
So another thing that I can appreciate, like we talked about, is just seeing the various shows. Like for example, we just talked about Miami being able to go up on the ceiling and them having to work acts around having a smaller stage. Then seeing something like your club where you have a huge stage with black lights, full lighting, full fog, strobe, like the works. You guys could set up some really elaborate scenes, which I ended up adapting to my shows, both for my Conan and my Khal Drogo act. I created backdrops. Like I just hang them on the curtain, they hang down because we're not too big on props. I had these skull towers for Ghost Rider, but it's just our stage doesn't have that much space, and we more so our locker room doesn't have that much space, and I already have like 8 bins full of stuff for acts. But it
True.
was something I
True.
would have never.
I've seen your side of the locker room.
Yeah, my apartment, my home away from home. The thing about that is that I would have never had that idea if I had not seen you guys do it at your club. And another cool thing that I've seen is like you and I were talking about Boss's act from Houston. He did a VV for Vendetta act, but I felt it was similar to uh, the Ninja act that Martine just finished doing. That's similar to the Samurai act that I did a couple of years ago. That's similar to both uh, Jay Good and I forgot his name now. I'm just horrible at names today. But a gentleman from Miami LeBear did a ninja act as well, and I ended up seeing it because he brought it up to Dallas, and
Okay.
it's really neat to see 5 different entertainers take the same quote unquote theme and do their own interpretation of it.
Right.
Like I think that's exciting not only for myself but for the ladies as well.
Right.
So
Um, First off, with yours and Martine's, y'all's it's cool because y'all had like a similar concept, similar theme, but in a way it was totally different, especially music wise. Like I can't. It's been a while since I've seen yours, but at the same time, I know for a fact like your music was a little. I felt like your music was more intense, whereas Martine's was more laid back. It was more Martine stylish.
mhm.
Which is not is a great thing for Martin. Like Martin stays inside his comfort zone, and that's what makes him such a great entertainer. He knows what he likes, he knows what he loves, and he knows what makes him look good.
Mhm.
Is I think what we're all trying to do as entertainers. Like I don't know about you, I sometimes lose who I am. I sometimes will try to venture out into some new world, and it's like you know what, it's all right, but it's definitely not who I am. So I need to go back to what works for me.
Yeah.
Uh, just seeing, like you said, 5 different entertainers, similar concepts, similar themes. It's just amazing that y'all all share that same little brain wavelength. That's like, oh, I want to do this, and then it's like y'all have the similar concepts, similar themes, but each one has a different flavor to it. Each one has your own spin on it. It's just amazing to see. And I've only seen yours, Martine's, and now I've seen Boss's. I haven't seen the other 2 gentlemen you were talking about.
Yeah, Jay Geared retired, so
Oh, okay.
you sadly might not be able to see that one, which is a real bummer. But I mean, there's just been some great shows, like plain and simple, and it's one of the great things about traveling, both having people come to our clubs and having us go to other clubs. I mean, case in point, my Get Down, Make Love act. I I borrowed that from Alex from Miami. I would have never. I had thought about making an act with the song, and I just never put anything to paper or feet to dance floor. And I saw him do it, and he absolutely rocked it. Like I would tell him to do it when he would come up to Dallas. And so one time when I was down there, I was like, "Hey man, can I buy you lunch and us meet up, and you teach me that act, and so I can take it to Dallas." And he was like, dude, that would be amazing. And then you and I can do a group one when I go up there. I'm like, that's awesome. And it's something that would have never happened if I didn't branch out and travel.
Right. Which act was this again?
Get Down, Make Love. I believe I did it in your club one time, but the stage doesn't cater to sliding a chair around very well, so I ended up not doing it again. But I sit the woman in the chair and I spin her around a lot.
Right. Didn't you have like rope with it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I
that's it.
remember now.
Um, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like that was 100% taken from Alex from Miami LeBear, and he's a phenomenal entertainer, and it was amazing to watch him just completely mesmerize the crowd with just a chair, a girl, and his own charisma.
Hey, some like I hate to say it, some of us need less to get the job done. Some of us need more.
Yeah.
I need giant spinning platforms and smoke machines. I mean, that's just how I get down.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Uh-huh.
not that good of an entertainer, so it's all good.
Gotcha. Um, so we kind of touched on it earlier, and which was the challenge of impressing everyone on someone else's stage and making a good name for yourself, both in body, both in charisma, and everything like that. There's something that goes with that as well, and you've seen that because you, like myself, compete in various strip offs. And doing an act that you created for your stage and your club on someone else's stage is such a huge challenge. It's one of those things that doesn't cross your mind until you try to do it. And what ends up happening is, you have to figure out how to take all your equipment and props and all that stuff from one place to another without damaging it. Then you have to figure out if you can even do it on the stage, and then you're dealing with a runner that's never seen your act before and a DJ that's never seen your act before to set up the lighting and all that. And you're trying to, let's say for you guys, for example, you adjust your act to where you use the catwalk. Well, no other club has a catwalk, so you have to modify that on the fly. Like I stated, doing my fire, I had to go down on a knee to do my fire because the ceiling was so low in Fort
Right.
Lauderdale.
In Florida, yeah.
So, but you still want to put your best foot forward.
Of
So
course.
it's how do you attack that? How do you feel about that?
Man, and see, that's to me that's always the biggest killer when I'm going to do a strip off is the fact that you can't, sometimes you just really can't take your best act, or if you do you have to figure out, like you said, you have to figure out a way to modify it, which I've tried to do for years for certain acts. I've been wanting, because since we met, you asked me to try to find a way to bring Good versus Evil to Dallas, and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to, but those platforms, I would have to hire a trailer, or not hire a trailer, rent a trailer to get those platforms all the way there. Then not only that, the problem is, how do I get it inside the club? Like you said, there's not enough room in the back to store them. Uh, we hardly ever travel with a 6-man show for strip offs, so that would be, it's all intense things like that. But certain people like you, like, you're your own show basically. You do fire, you do acting, you dance. You're one of those people that have like the total package. So for you, traveling is a little bit easier. Same thing with Juice. I tell Juice all the time. I say, Juice could be a one-man traveling show if he really wanted to, if you think about it, because he can sing, he can dance. Yeah, he does put money into props and stuff like that, but at the same time, the first time me and him came to Dallas, he walked through your stage, or walked through the crowd and sang a Michael Jackson song. Half the women didn't even realize he was singing. They thought it was him lip singing.
Yeah.
So for him to be that entertaining and that talented, it's easier for people like that to travel, I feel.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because at the Houston Strip Off, the Game of Thrones event that Foreplay hosted, I actually noticed that he started off his singing act with him going a cappella and then stopping mid sentence to be like, "What? You're all not listening? Like, what's up? Make some noise." And I felt that was really in it was really creative of him to sneak that into the routine so he can kind of, without literally doing something so blatant to show people that he's really singing, like them saying, "Hey, he's really singing," or doing a mic check or something like that, that it's kind of like people are like, "Oh yeah, he's lip singing." Wait, what? He's, oh man. And it kind of, and then he continues to sing for the rest of the act. It's really creative on his part, and tip my hat to him. Which once again, he may or may have not considered doing something like that if it wasn't for him going to another club where people didn't know he actually can sing, and just assumed he was lip singing.
Right. No, and it really does boil down to that because like I said, when we went to that Dallas show and he sang and not one woman knew that he was singing. He didn't like let it show that he was upset, but you could clearly tell he was upset. And then he went back to Hard Bodies and he sang one night, and it happened again. Women didn't believe he was singing, so he said, "You know what? We were upstairs and he was like, you know what? Next time I sing, I'm gonna stop in the middle of
A verse.
and I'm gonna look at a lady and I'm gonna say, I'm singing, and then I'm gonna go back to singing." And he did it the next time, and like and since then he's always found creative ways to let people know, hey, I'm here, I'm singing. This isn't pre-recorded. This isn't that. I'm singing. So, I like you said, you gotta tip your hat to that.
Most definitely. And then to kind of wrap up this section of the show real quick, we it's just beneficial. Like it's something that everyone should do, almost like a rite of passage. I traveled down to, ironically, I followed a similar trail that you did. I did a road show, did a strippergram, and then Randy was going down to San Antonio. He's like, "Hey, do you want to go with me?" I think I might have been dancing maybe 6 months at that point. I said, "Sure, I'll go down," and it was a huge step outside my comfort zone. Like I still wasn't completely comfortable in my club, let alone dancing in someone else's club. But it's a great way to stay refreshed. It's a great way to humble yourself. It's a great way to see a new take on things. And you really learn. Like case in point, Fire and Silks are at your club now. And it's because people traveled. Axel went down there and took his silk. So you guys saw that. We're like, man, why are we not doing that? Same thing with Fire, same thing with black lights. Like you guys saw other people use black lights, and you're like, man, that's a great idea. I mean, the black light setup you guys have in your club is absolutely phenomenal. It makes me really want to get my guys together and create something similar because it's just so awesome.
To me, see, and we've talked about this. I love black lights. Something about it just really excites me. It's a cool concept. You could do so much different things with it, and that's why I think I like it. It's fun. Women like it because it's colorful. It's very bright. Like I don't know. It's just something I've always liked. But I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. Like it is stepping out of your comfort zone. But to me, and I think this is just people being different. And like I said, everyone's different. I've always been the kind of person, like I can remember back in high school going and playing away games and getting more excited to play away games than to play at home because I like people doubting me. I like being the underdog. I like people being like, who the hell are you? What are you going to do? Like to me, that's just when I feel like I kind of shine brightest because if you build me up and you hype me up, I might fall short. It's something that I've always been bad about. But if you say, okay, you're nobody, you're not going to do anything, okay, all right, you're going to remember me when I walk out of this club tonight. And that's how I've always been, like, just in every aspect of life.
Yeah, no, that's a great mentality to have, man. And I totally agree with you. There's no better feeling than to get done with your main stage and have some random person that you've never met before come up to you and be like, man, I need to travel to San Antonio. Or like, man, this is what the guys are like in Dallas. I need to go. Like that's a really good pat in the back and kind of makes you feel good about everything that you were able to do as a group. Because at the end of the day, it took other entertainers mentoring you. It took other entertainers putting on a great show for you to live up to that. Guys having a great body, so you wanted a great body. And all that culminates into something where you impress the hell out of people, just like you said. They're like, oh, whatever, it's an out of towner. I love my boys. And then you go up there and they're like, oh, hello.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. Look at Caesar with the Lions, man. That looks good. I'm gonna go tip him.
That or the fuzzy underwear that all the guys want.
Yeah, you could honestly, if you could patent pen those, you'd probably make a good little side grip, like little good money on the side.
The crowd pleaser underwear line.
There you go.
Oh, speaking of which, real quick to put a little plug, I still have my Caesar the Crowd Pleaser reality contest reality show shirts. I have think about 20 left in all sizes from small to extra large, right? Small, medium, large, extra large. Yeah. So if you want one, definitely hit me up when you come to the club.
Women, buy those shirts. They're cool. They're awesome. I think Martine has one. I need to get one.
You should have one. You were on the show. I gave everyone that was on the show one, bro.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
I think you probably sent it to the club,
Mhm.
but that was when I had my 3-month sabbatical, and I probably didn't get it.
Oh, for shame. For shame.
It's all right. I'll get another one. I'll buy another one. It'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I got you.
I'll look pretty in it. But man, I think for any entertainer, traveling needs to become a part of that staple, because if you stay still, if you stay at your club too long, it's kind of like being locked in a cage. To me, I mean, I love my club. Don't get me wrong. I love the women, but at the same time, it just starts to be a drag because you're there every day. You're there every day, and it's like, okay, well, how does the other half live? Let me go check out Dallas. Oh, wow, they have fun there too. Let me go check out Houston. Wow, different culture, fun. And then like when I went to Florida, it was just a totally different culture. It opened my eyes to something new, something different. Like it's they're all different in their aspects. And for women, you know, I understand you're like, oh, I'm loyal to my LeBaron or I'm loyal to hard bodies. Go travel. Go see other shows. When your favorite entertainer travels, go with them. Say, hey, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stay in a hotel. I can't wait to see you tonight. It's fun. Trust me. Road trips are fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. My next challenge is gonna be to try to take traveling to the next level, and I want to try to work in Japan and Australia. So,
You know who you should there's actually a few dudes out in Dallas who did a show in Japan last year around this time.
really, all right, we'll talk about more after the show.
Gotcha.
All right, so we have another topic that you wanted to bring up, and I'm definitely on this boat, literally. And
Oh, well, that's why I came up with this topic, was because look at us.
And but it doesn't warrant a full show, so we'll just tag it on to this one, and I'll let you open up with this one, Trey. What do you want to talk about, bro?
I mean, you know, I just wanted to bring up, you know, so in this industry, there's there's taller entertainers and there's shorter entertainers. Well, you know, Caesar and I fall under that shorter entertainer category. And I know when I first got started in this industry, I I was never jealous, but I felt like taller guys got a little bit more appreciation. And then I met Caesar, and Caesar's a little shorter than I am, and Caesar was getting loved and getting women. They're like, "Oh yeah, Caesar's great. Caesar's this," and I like so. Before I saw him on stage, I was like, "Okay, he's short like me. He's built. He's leaner than me, but he's built a little bit like me." I was like, how do I translate to become someone like him? So I watched him on stage.
It's that fun size, bro. It's like dynamite.
Fun size. And you know what? Women, who doesn't love fun size candy? It's big enough to give you a good taste, and it doesn't make you feel guilty. Just saying. But it definitely was impressive watching him, because he brings a whole show. He brings a whole dancing aspect. And so, like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, now I know what I need to do. I need to just embrace my size and just have fun, put good shows on, and dance. So ever since then, it's been that way. But, you know, me being short, I've always had a little bit of a Napoleonic complex. So I always feel like I have to fight with everybody, including taller guys. So I definitely just wanted to touch on this subject. Yeah. I'm going to turn it over to Caesar, because I know.
Oh, see, that's actually funny that you mentioned that Napoleon complex, though, because we had an entertainer here, which I'm not going to name no names. If you know him, you know him. If you don't, you don't. But this dude was legitimate. Like, I got respect for the dude. He was a great entertainer. But, man, did his height play an issue for him. Like, he would not let certain people do acts with him on stage because they were significantly taller than him, and he felt like it really played a role. So he would grab me and some of the other vertically challenged dudes to help him. And I mean, it was an issue, a clear discomfort for him. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of on the opposite boat as far as initially than you. I've been born, you know, like I've been this height forever. Like, I can't remember a time where I wasn't. So it doesn't bother me. I've grown used to it. Plus, like, let's be honest, our size is a lot better for combat. It's good for fighting. It's good for firefights. So I kind of dealt with it there. But you can't fix that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they have probably some weird surgery where you break your bones and grow like an inch or two and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if a girl don't like you because your height, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. I understand I'm not your type. I can't really fix that. So have a good night. The reason why we bring this up though is because it really is an issue. Like when I first started, like I said, I was short. It is what it is. I've been that way my whole life. So it wasn't an issue at all. It wasn't until you start to watch the bigger dudes get just a little bit more attention sometimes, time and time and time again, that you realize that height does play at least
Yep.
a surface layer factor, a role in it. And it's understandable. I mean, completely understandable. Guys like skinny girls, guys like big girls. Like it, we same thing with women. Women like shorter guys, women like bigger guys. It just so happens that taller guys are typically the more preferred. You have those, stereotypical cartoons and memes where the girl's jumping up at the guy and like cracking her neck to like look up at the guy. And it does play a role. It's not a completely hindering and handicap role. I wouldn't say that we make like half as much money because we're short, but yeah, there is a little bit of a stepping stone that we have to overcome or step over, if you can allow the fantastic pun. And it's actually kind of funny though that you ended up having to wait to see me, only because one of the guys that inspired me to keep doing a great show is Cherokee, which is our height, phenomenal entertainer. The guy has acrobatic skills, he has martial arts skills, he looks absolutely shredded. He was doing bodybuilding competitions on a regular basis. And I mean, he won like 17 strip offs.
He won. I forget what number. They always talk about it. But the thing with Cherokee is, when I first got there, he was retired.
Oh, okay, I got you.
First time I saw Cherokee on stage was that May strip off where we did Joker together.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
He came in and he did Deadpool.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and but I did since then I did get to work with him for a month. He came back to Hard Body for a
Oh,
month.
you know what? You're right. You're right. I'm sorry because I was going to Hard Bodies before you started working there. Because I remember him doing his fire batons and stuff like that. So that's okay.
I knew about you first because like I got there and I think it was either 2 months or 3 months, and then it was XL's birthday, and you came down for XL's birthday.
Gotcha.
It's the first time I met you, and you did Ghost Rider that night.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and I was real impressed with it. And I was like, okay, I see how I got to do this. I just gotta embrace having fun, and that's what I've always done since then is fun, lighthearted acts. You did, like I said, you did Ghost Rider with your jacket, and it looked cool, and you had XL dress up as the devil. It looked good. It was a great act.
Yeah, he's had, once again, man, tip of the hat to that dude. He's always gone above and beyond for me. He ended up getting his face painted for it, and it was just looked amazing. I couldn't imagine having anyone else help me on stage that night.
He's a great guy to have in your corner. Great guy.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, bro, I think that's a show. Let's go ahead and move right into our worst and best events of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, real biggest thing is just keep traveling. Traveling is good for both the guys and the women, and don't let certain physical attributes such as height play a role. Be the best entertainer you can be, and what will happen will happen. I would just tell you to have your strengths outweigh any weaknesses you might have. So, worst events of the week, bro. I actually have two. One's a little funny than the other. So the more serious one, I'm sure this has happened to you before, but I like to kind of tell people the things that happen. So we had a group of women come in on Saturday, or I'm sorry, Friday. Friday was busier than Saturday because Saturday was the day before Christmas. And there was a group of like 5 or 6 girls, and they had a shy girl in the group. Totally understandable. They end up coming up to my main stage. And long story short, this girl was extremely uncomfortable, didn't want to talk to anyone, was super awkward, didn't stop smiling because she was so shy, couldn't make eye contact, had her hands like strapped to her chest. These girls like manhandled the heck out of this girl for like 2 minutes on stage.
Always. I
Um,
mean, isn't that what always happens?
I felt so bad for this girl because they were like literally, I mean, they were pushing her into me so hard that it was like knocking me back. And then they were like grabbing her hands and trying to like put their hands on my, like, I mean, in any other scenario, I would have probably called the cops, like, because it looked that violent. I mean, I was there, so I knew what was going on, and I kind of like grabbed her hands and like wrapped her up a little bit. It was like, hey, look, just kind of deal with, like, pretend you're enjoying yourself, so they stop. But man, it was just like I felt bad for the girl. I'm like, how is this fun? But I mean, it happens. It really does. Like, I even think like one time they pushed her head down so far that it almost looked like she had like a reverse whiplash. It was insane.
God.
Yeah. So that's one of them.
Wait, oh God, go ahead and continue.
No, all right. So this one is pretty funny. It's never happened to me before in all the time I've been doing Fireboy, but it happened on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, Saturday, or the day before Christmas Eve. Anyway, I was spitting fire, and the crowd was pretty good. We didn't have a ton of people, but the crowd was good and popping and screaming. And so I got super motivated, super, overzealous, and I was just spinning the poi everywhere. And I had my Death Stars because they have the bigger flame. And all of a sudden, I'm doing one of my movements, and we have a rope on our stage. And I've hit it every once in a while, probably 3 times in the last 2 years I've hit it. So this time I'm spinning, and all of a sudden my hand just stopped spinning. And I'm like, what the? And I look up, and the fire poi went through the loop of the rope and got stuck. So then I'm hanging there, spinning one fire poi, like, up with my left hand. Meanwhile, I'm staring at the other one up on the rope, and I'm like, okay. I try to yank on it twice, doesn't come out. I like try to whip it, doesn't come out. I try to let it go so it like will fall down, and I'll grab it, by the weight. It doesn't because the chain is stuck in the rope. Then people are kind of freaking out because it looks like it's lighting the rope on fire, but it's not. Everyone's like, and then so I'm like telling Kaden, I'm like, so I jump up like 3 times to try to hit it. Doesn't move. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of out of ideas. And I'm like, of course, once again, we're vertically challenged. So I was like, Kaden, I waited to get his attention. He looked at me like, what, bro, what's up? And I like pointed up at the rope, and I'm like, hey, dude, my fire poi's stuck. If you can like help me out here. So then he dropped and sure enough, as soon as he lowered the rope, like, it fell. So I just, and then he I think he felt worse. He was like, I'm sorry, ladies, this never happens. I'm like, dude, it's cool, man. Like, we didn't hurt anyone. We're good to go. I just picked it up, kind of shrugged and finished the show. But I can't help. I wish someone actually did catch a video of that, because it must have been hilarious just watching me spin like full speed, and all of a sudden my arm just stopped. Like, yep.
All right, I just have to ask, how did Alex react to that?
He was on vacation with his family, thankfully.
Oh, sounds good. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right, how about you, bro? What was your worst event of the week?
Worst event of the week is here at Hard Bodies, we're down to about 6-7 guys right now due to sickness, injuries. Well, we're as of next week, we will be losing another entertainer. He says for good, so we'll see. I'm not gonna mention any names because that's none of my business. But he'll be making that announcement next week. So we're down to like 6-7 guys. It sucks. It hurts. We're especially because we all like to do group acts. Luckily, it's been so slow this last week that we've barely had to do group acts. We've done a lot of solos, but at the same time, we know it's about to pick up again, and we're about to have to do all these 3-man shows with little of guys. That's why we did create instead of because our amateur weeks don't work like when we do an amateur night every week. Mm-hmm. So at the end of January, we're doing an amateur night where if a lady brings in a man that will go on stage and try out for Hard Bodies, they get in for free. So definitely looking forward to that. We have that event happening at the end of January. It's going to be an amateur night, but so hopefully we can recruit some guys. That's what we've been trying to do. But yeah, that was definitely my worst of the week, is that it just that's why I'm kind of really excited to come out to your club on Sunday, because like I feel like we're nonstop having to work at Hard Bodies right now because we are so few of guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and we'll go ahead and start us off with the best event, man. What was your best event of the week?
Best of the week. So one of the best of the week is Excel, me, and a few other guys. Mostly it's Excel's brainchild. I helped out with it a tad, but we're gonna do in April 8th for XL's anniversary of being at Hard Bodies, we're gonna do a battle of the sexes
Oh, nice.
at Hard Bodies, which is like a lot like Dallas's Guys and Gals Night. But instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna crown a king and queen of San Antonio.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be different. Definitely can't wait for that. Like, you know,
Do you have the details as far as how the competition is going to work?
uh, we've been kind of working it out. I think we've decided, and just hit up Excel for sure. But I think what we've decided is that we're going to have guys and girls team up,
Oh,
and like they compete together against others. And the way we've been talking about it, and the way that it's looking is like every guy that wants to compete and every girl that wants to compete, we're gonna put their names in a box, and we're gonna draw names to see who our partner is.
oh, that's pretty neat.
So that's definitely gonna be different. And that's why I bring it up on Caesar's podcast, because I know that's something that he would be interested in. So
Ooh, what a smooth, bro. Smooth, seamless plug. Good job.
guest entertainer of the night. Just
So hold on. If we're doing this mystery box of matchmaking, like, how does it work when I'm out of town? What happens if I got paired with somebody from Houston or something like that? We're gonna like rehearse over Skype.
well, maybe maybe we just bend the rules a little bit for you, because you're
Special
Caesar.
treatment.
Just a little bit. It's okay.
Oh, that's so good.
But yeah, that's definitely one of my best things. And then another thing that happened is because our runner is out of town for a family thing. Well, our stage manager, he's out of town for a family thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been helping out with stage managing. So last night I was dressed up. I had my blue jeans on, had a shirt on because it was cold, and I'm running back and forth, running clothes and props. And this group of girls stops me as I'm running by, and they're like, please tell me you're dancing tonight. I was like, I had never met them before, never seen them. They were from Oklahoma. I'll probably never see them again. And they were like, as soon as you're done doing what you want, we need to dance. And I was like, you know what? I was like, man, maybe I should wear clothes on the floor more often. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we just need to dress ourselves up like regular people, and then they'll tip us more.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. One of the ideas for a theme party I'm having is suits and gowns. So you and I can come dressed up sharp, and girls can throw out their best Mr. and Mrs. Smith costumes. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I like that.
But it's good though. It's good. It's good to know that you look just as good with your clothes on as you do off, right?
True. I honestly, I think I look better with my clothes on, but that's just me.
Dude, me too, bro. Like, as long as it fits. Like, we just talked about the height thing. Man, all kinds of freaking plugs. But yeah, you and I are both. It's weird because we're so wide for our height that, like, stuff doesn't match up right.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Like,
like I'm not. I don't want to mention who it was, but someone was talking about your picture as Khal Drago,
Mhm.
and they were like, Caesar's deceptively big. I didn't realize he was that stout. I was like, yeah. I was like, look at that fool. He looks like a savage.
I dig that. There we go. Yeah, I do all the barbarian things. That's my thing. I appreciate that, though. Good compliment. Hey, you're one of the best looking Punishers, bro. Not going to lie.
Oh, see, women, this is why I think we're gonna do the podcast like what, at least once every month.
Yeah. Oh, dude, no, two a month. Hey, that being said, though, you really should bring Punisher back because I heard the series on Netflix is doing a phenomenal.
First off, have you watched the series?
No, I don't have time, man. I got way too many projects going on.
I forget. You're not like me. I'm a slacker. I watched the whole series in like 2 nights. Just throwing that out there. Secondly, it's funny that you mention it because I'm actually gonna do a solo Punisher in Dallas this weekend.
Dude, my hero.
I just had to. I knew you would like it.
I mean, hey, I could go to Walmart real quick, pick up like a red onesie, and like I could be like your Daredevil for your act if you want improv it real quick.
I mean, I still got the costume from when I did it. So, if you want to be Daredevil,
I mean, I could probably do it to where I like hang up on the silks, and then like you shoot me, and then I can hang myself, so it looks really dramatic. I'll just lay there upside down, hanging you through your entire set.
such a good person. Caesar is y'all see how this is?
No, dude, they don't see. It's a podcast. It's audio. They hear it. How are they gonna see it?
Huh?
How are they gonna see it?
I'm sorry. I forget we're doing a podcast, not YouTube. I apologize.
All right. Anyways, let me finish this up because we are definitely losing track of time. My best event. So this was completely random that someone told me this, but I'm not gonna lie. I laughed so hard that I just immediately, like, I even told her, I was like, this is going on the podcast. So a friend of mine comes to the club and she ends up getting a couple of dances throughout the night, right? Through, tipping me and dances and whatnot, close contact, my smell ends up rubbing off on her clothing. That's pretty typical. It's nothing unheard of. So she ends up going home, and apparently she typically throws her clothes in a hamper. But for whatever reason, I guess she was like slightly intoxicated and slightly tired. She just threw her clothes on the floor and goes to shower. When she comes back out, right? And this is where it gets funny. I know, right now it's totally boring, nothing exciting. So when she comes out, she has 2 cats. And apparently both her cats are just rolling around in her clothes. And she's like, yeah, I know. I smell him too. And I just bawled laughing because in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, I guess Caesar's pheromones kind of attracts the PG pussycats. There we go. We'll go with that.
Oh gosh, you just had PG.
Well, hey, I mean, I guess you already made it R by cussing in the first 10 minutes of the show, but
But I only cussed once this time. I'm getting better.
I know, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Like, I'm gonna high five you just for that when you come into town.
You should have heard how many cuss words I've said in my head this whole podcast.
We'll figure out. We'll have like an R version that you could put on your YouTube channel. How's that?
Sounds good to me.
We'll call it the Tre Factor.
I'll just do like the opening minute of nothing but dropping F-bombs.
Oh, see, that's exactly. We'll do that from now on, like the uncut version. I'll just sit there and start yapping with you. Anyways, we digress again. Tre, how can people reach you, bro?
People can reach me at on Facebook at Tre Moonlight Vaughn. Or honestly, I'm better at Instagram, so definitely follow me at Instagram. My Instagram name is Moonlight Space Muscle, so definitely look that up. Still working on my YouTube channel, so don't worry about that yet. But yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I was updating your show notes, right? And I literally wrote the word space. I was like, Moonlight wrote space out. Ugh. Yeah, I know. You can face palm.
You see what we're working here with, ladies?
No, they don't see. It's a podcast. Audio, dude. Focus.
I hate you so much.
Wait, you loved me at the beginning of the show. How did we change in like?
I mean, I still
minutes?
do. It's just, I'm just like one of those typical guys. I can't. If I hate you, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
If you're not insulting me, then we have a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you. It's Moonlight Muscle, right?
Moonlight Space Muscle.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I updated it in the show notes. Sweet. All right. You can find me at Facebook, Caesar Collazo. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter as Caesar LeBear7. And you can find me on YouTube as Caesar LeBear. Definitely check out my YouTube channel where we are about to post the last and final episode of this first season, pilot season, debut season of my Crowd Pleaser contest, the reality show where you all voted in on what the best entertainer was out of 7 or 10 dudes. Tre was on the show, Juice was on the show, Jason, Christian, Suave, the whole gang, Mandingo, Christian from our club, Romeo, and Liam. Definitely check it out. If you are waiting for the final episode, then hey, it's coming out soon. If you are just now tuning in and know about it, then by all means get on it and catch up. It'll be on YouTube for as long as my YouTube's open. Thank you guys so much for listening. Keep in mind that my birthday, fire and ice themed, dress as a fiery vixen or as an ice queen, February 17th and 16th. All right, my mom will be there. I'm not sure if she's going to be there both nights or not yet, and probably one of my brothers at least.
And I'll be there too.
What? So fired.
And I'm next on the podcast another day.
That was bingo.
Are you sure that wasn't Morgan Freeman? Because like I would totally let him narrate my life right now.
Hey man, I just woke up and I just hear Tre's voice in my living room, and I'm like, oh, okay. All right, well.
I feel like I'm just gonna have a podcast of Mandingo reading like the newspaper or something.
Morgan Freeman voice. Do
Just
that.
give me your biography, and I'll just read it.
There you go.
It's like a paragraph.
What you should do is get him to read all your plugs for the next year, and just put it at the end of every show.
Oh my god, that's so good. Oh god, we're horrible. I'm not even gonna edit this out. I'm just gonna post it. Like,
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. I'll pre-record it for you and be like, log on, online, crowd pleaser, vote now.
There you go.
I think you have a future in like automated GPS voice.
I would rather hear him over Siri. I'll be real.
Turn left now. All right, cool. So check out my birthday, Fire and Ice, February 17th, 16th and 17th. God, I keep saying 17th first because it was 17th and 18th last year. But this year, February 16th, 17th, that's Friday and Saturday, and probably an after party on 18th if I can't get to everyone. Trey will be there. Who knows who else from out of town is going to be there. I'm sure I'll get invites at last minute. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Trey, thank you so much for being here, bro.
Can I do some last minute plugs real quick? Just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Okay, cool. All right, so ladies, Christian's birthday, January, 90s throwback party. Make sure you come check that out. It's his first birthday party at the club. Rookie of the year at Hard Bodies this last year, so definitely come check him out. Juice's birthday, February. Come out, check it out. 2-day event. One is Michael Jackson theme, and the other is a gold party. So, ladies, come on out. Juice's is the week after Caesar's birthday. So,
boom, back-to-back parties, baby. What's up? All right, cool. So we're good, right? We're good on everyone? Everyone got the handshake and stuff? Sweet. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate it. This podcast is here for you. Again, leave a comment or rating any platform that you're listening to it, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. Until next time, keep bringing the rain. That was really cheesy. Just bring the rain. Like, throw it up in the air, let it scatter everywhere. It's awesome. I do it. It's fun.
I scream as loud as you don't. Airplane mode on tablets and phones. Caesar's crowd pleasers, yes, now on. Caesar, the crowd pleaser. If you need to pick me up, ladies, we gon' change your demeanor. Caesar, the crowd pleaser. We gon' do a little dance, we gon' make the naysayers believe us.